Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. So, David Vahn does not play multiplayer. I'm sure there's been a ton of videos made about this subject already, and I just got home from an 11-hour workday, so as soon as I got home, I was like, yep, I'm definitely talking about this, because I do have my own perspective, and something tells me that some of you guys might want to know my thoughts on this, so I figured, hey, why not? Let's make this video. Let's talk about it. So, one of the first things that came to mind is that if Vahn doesn't touch multiplayer, which we just found out, right? And if Battle Royale or Blackout is his entire existence, as he quoted himself as saying from an interview with IGN or whatnot, right? That Battle Royale is his entire existence, and that's basically what he focuses on, and multiplayer is like a secondary thing, or whatever the deal is, or whatever you want to call it. Why is he still in charge of making multiplayer decisions? And what leads me to believe that he's still in charge of making multiplayer decisions, obviously, is because of the whole VSATs, like, you know, the VSAT response that we all know about. Like, how many times do I have to say, like, no, I'm sick and tired of hearing you guys say it. No VSAT will be in this game, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, okay, if this guy's not playing multiplayer, then why is he still in charge of it? Now, we were all led to believe that the Black Ops 3 was going to be his last Call of Duty, and he was going to move on and all that kind of stuff. So, sure, but it seems that what happened is that it turned out to be Battle Royale, and I guess he's still got his hands into multiplayer, so I guess in a certain sense, he's kind of like having his cake and eating it too. But the thing is, from what I understand, there are a lot of developers out there that play. If you're a director, if you're one of the higher-ups or whatnot, you're basically going to play every version of your game. Even with a game like this, I'm sure, you know, it's very important. If you're as somebody who's got that pulls as much weight as Vahn does in these games, right? You got to put in your time in all versions of the game. You got to put in your time in Blackout. You got to put in your time in multiplayer. You got to put in your time in zombies. And I know that there are other game developers out there that certainly do that, and they don't necessarily have to be COD. For instance, for God of War, I know for a fact that Cory Barlog definitely played God of War many times from start to finish before the game was released. Now, granted, God of War is a campaign-only type of game or whatnot, right? But at the same time, it's a game that is very much in depth. It's a very long game. It still requires a shit ton of time. And just like every other game, there are many different departments that you have to talk to, communicate with in order to get this thing made. So the other thing that my mind is going to, when you put all that kind of stuff into perspective, is that there might be some sort of miscommunication within the studio, within Treyarch. Because how can you, according to the community and videos and all that kind of stuff, for the most part, in terms of a Call of Duty FPS version of Battle Royale, Treyarch succeeded with it, and it's their first time ever doing it. And according to all the research and stuff like that, they basically spent a year on it before release, and yet they still succeeded. So this leads me to believe that there's a major miscommunication thing going on in terms of the multiplayer. And who knows, maybe even zombies. I don't know. In terms of zombies, I don't know, guys. I unfortunately can't really comment that much on that because I don't play zombies, unfortunately. But I do respect the zombies community because you guys are a big chunk of the community. And the way I look at it is, if one aspect of the game fails, then the game is that much more of a letdown. I didn't use the words the whole game fails, because unfortunately it's not like that with this game, unfortunately, because multiplayer took a hit. Obviously, according to you guys, zombies to a certain extent took a hit, and obviously there was no campaign, so the people that love campaigns in Call of Duty got left out. So that was like a huge ass hit. That was a knockout. But at the same time, the game still manages to be the most downloaded game and still makes a good amount of money for what it is. So that's the shit we're dealing with at this point. So the thing is, if one aspect of the game, which they only spent 1 year on, and there's something, and they're completely new at it, and succeed, and yet at the same time, with what their bread and butter is in terms of the multiplayer, they are kind of a letdown, to put it nicely, then we have a problem. And the first thing that my mind goes to is miscommunication. So Vahn is supposed to be involved in all aspects of the game, like he's supposed to be at least, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Then I'm saying that there's some sort of miscommunication going on, because this is the first time ever for a Treyarch title that we're so that we're not happy with the multiplayer like we usually are. And Treyarch has never, at least recently, has never in recent years received this kind of level of disappointment from the community in a long time. So that's basically where my mind is going at. And like I said in a previous video, there's been a few of you in the comment section, or maybe one of you in the comment section, that mentioned to me, I believe more than once, that you refuse to believe that the same Treyarch that developed Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 1 multiplayer developed Black Ops 4 multiplayer. You refuse to believe that. And when you put everything together, it makes sense. And to be honest, I wouldn't even be surprised. Raven played a great deal in this game. Now, I'm not dissing Raven or anything like that, and I'm just speculating at this point, giving you my thoughts. But Raven had their hand in this game too, so it's like, okay, what did they help with? Did they help with Battle Royale mostly, or did they have their hands in a little bit of everything or whatnot, or what happened? I mean, all the specifics, obviously, nobody knows more than Treyarch themselves, obviously. All we can do is speculate to a great degree, because there's just so much more that we don't know. As much as we know, there's just that much more that we don't, which makes it interesting. And I'm just trying to put the pieces together of this really simple but yet simultaneously complicated puzzle. So in terms of my conclusion and my thoughts, I would probably have to say that there's some sort of miscommunication going on. Obviously, there's miscommunication going on with the community. There's no doubt about it. Because obviously when we say something like a no specialist playlist or a VSAT request, it just doesn't happen. And yet at the same time, you got other developers out there, and I'm not going to point my finger at Fortnite, for example, for this, because we already know that they do a great job in terms of fan feedback and trying to apply it to their game. Although there are fans, some fans are starting to say that they're really starting to screw up the game, so I don't know. But for the most part, there are other developers out there that have a really good communication with their fan base, and they basically give fans what they want. And Call of Duty just happens to be the most financially successful in terms of console, or one of the most financially successful, right? Year after year. And yet at the same time, something that could be done with a patch or an update that we request, so many of us request, is not given to us. That's a big problem. It's either miscommunication or they're dicks. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for this one. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think, where your thoughts are at, and yeah, that's all I got for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, if you enjoyed the video, let me know, and if you didn't, let me know what I could do to make my videos better, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.